a speeding bullet.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
More powerful than a locomotive.
Hulk! Smash!
Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
There's more to them than meets the eye.
It's Superman!
In brightest day,
in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
Hulk! Smash!
Hey there, boils and ghouls. Welcome to Chuckles Crypt, and I'm very excited for this episode. Lately, I've been mixing things up, trying to test the waters to see what works, and I think the Chuckles Crypto, that worked. The traveling back to the 90s, that was a huge hit.
That definitely worked. People are hitting me up about that.
Huge hit. We'll go back to that, and unfortunately, we will have to torture you with some more, what you say, suburban white boy rap.
Diggity.
Well, I may be willing to sit here for it if you introduce me.
Of course, George Garner. I'm sorry to not introduce you, of course. And today is the very first time Chuckles Crypt presents to you, only on Rhode Comic Combat. Now, you're sitting back scratching your head saying, what is Comic Combat? It is a fan fiction written by me where the comic characters collide. And they could be anywhere from Image to DC to Marvel to even throwing in a little Disney characters facing, I don't care, maybe we'll do Darkwing Duck versus
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. I mean, I could. This is endless, the abilities here. But since it is March, and it's the last couple days of March, and to keep with the green, the green conspiracy of us Irish and the fighting Irish, I figured I would take the two green guys that you would least think would lock it up. Now, everybody's done the Supermans and the Wolverines and the Spider-Mans and all this other stuff together, but no one has ever thought about Green Lantern versus Hulk. And the first thing someone's going to say is that would be a squash match. The Hulk would squish him.
No, that's not the first thing I would say.
I would say you are mistakenly wrong. I mean, if you look at the win records of both of the characters, and I could have written this all down for you guys, but that would have taken up the whole show. But when it comes to smashing bad guys, the Lanterns have taken on some of the strongest characters in the DC universe that would put any Marvel character 6 feet under for even blinking an eye at them. The Red Lanterns, the Yellow Lanterns, Darkseid, all these characters that are very strong. And yes, don't take anything away from the Hulk, because he's taking on such giants as Galactus with such fortitude where he punches him in the face and almost knocks him clear across, the gravitational pull of Earth. We're going to take these two and we're going to have them collide tonight. And you, the listeners, and George Garner and Tony, you guys can let me know what you guys think is going to be the ending. Now, if you have not read any of my blogs earlier about my the mashups, I'll give you a little speed and a little catch-up with it before we get into the battle. As we all know, if you have read, Lex Luthor has invented a way of populating boom tubes. Not only boom tubes, but boom tubes that go inter-universal. So not just staying in the DC realm, but able to jump from Marvel to Dark Horse's realms, infinite universes. He has figured out how to do this. All in the works to destroy the one and only Superman. Now, in doing so, he has pulled in a couple characters from other universes like Marvel, like the Hulk and Spider-Man. And when you get the reading on, you'll hear some other stuff. But this time, our characters are on top of a building. Let's start the scenery off. And we are in the DC universe. We are in Metropolis. And the Hulk is staring down right in front of him, the Flash, Batman, and Spider-Man. Clearly pissed off what just happened to him because he got banged in the head by a missile from Lex Luthor. So these three that are over here are basically crapping their pants. I mean, Spider-Man knows what's up with these guys, but Batman and Flash, they have no idea what's coming up for them. So Flash, being the intelligent guy, would radio to the Injustice Tower, hovering up in space to see who's up there to get to the listen. And, of course, the only one left up there would be the Green Lantern. And which Green Lantern did you think I picked? Who do you think, George? I mean, there's tons. I mean, you got Hal Jordan.
I know it. I mean, when you say Green Lantern, to me, as a non-DC fanatic, only one comes to mind. So that's why I paused at your question there.
Yeah, and that would be Hal Jordan.
Right.
I mean, I could have used Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, and Jon Stewart. But these characters are not strong enough to take on a monster like Hulk.
Right, now, for us non-Green Lantern experts, isn't most of the Green Lantern power in the ring?
It's charged by a battery.
Right. But the
And
power
it is in the ring.
Right, the power is in the ring. So when you say this Green Lantern is more powerful than the other one, are we talking about the power of their rings, or are we talking about who can throw a punch? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It seems to me we're just talking about the rings.
Right. Hal Jordan has probably, pound for pound, the strongest willpower out of the... Well, this is so they write it in the DC universe.
Right.
The strongest willpower out of any of the Green Lanterns. To the point where he ends up becoming almost like a god, where he captures all the rings and becomes godly-like.
Okay, so in other words, for any acolytes out there learning as we go, so the power of the ring is based on the will of the operator.
That's right. So if you have low willpower...
You can't use that ring as well as the guy next to you.
Right. And Hal Jordan learns the hard way how to operate and use this thing a lot, I'd have to say, a lot quicker than some of the other folks. Now, as we could see, the Green Lantern would answer this call, and he would come down, being the cocky son of a bitch he is, because he is. We all know Hal Jordan's, he's cocky. He thinks he can take on the world. He would come down, and he would start blasting at the Hulk uncontrollably, sending beams at him without even asking questions or stopping to answer. All he sees is this big green guy about to smush his buddies on the building.
Right, so knock him down.
So he's going to try to knock him down, but by shooting him with those little beams or hitting him with whatever it is, it's going to irritate the Hulk.
Right.
We know it's not going to kill him. Hulk can't get penetrated by bullets. He can't get penetrated by nuclear bombs. So this stuff is going to irritate him to the point where the Hulk's going to get pissed off, and he's going to turn around. And you know what's going to come up, fans? As quick as you can blink an eye. Don't think because the Hulk is small, he's not quick. He's going to jump up, throw a slug just in time, where Hal's going to have enough time to react and put up a shield. But it's going to turn into a giant baseball or a punching ball. That ball is going to go soaring through the air after the might of the Incredible Hulk hitting it. Hal Jordan's not going to know what to think because he's going to have to peel himself out of a mountain because he's never been hit by a giant this hard before. I mean, he's hit by a dark side and he's gone into buildings and everything, but nothing that hard has hit him.
Well, it depends, too. How hard he gets hit depends on how angry the Hulk is.
Well, if you shoot him a couple times.
Yeah, but,
he's gonna get angry.
But that's the beginning of the fight.
It is. And it's going to get a little more entertaining as things would go. You know, that wouldn't be enough to put Hal down.
No, but what I'm saying, I'm pointing out though that just a couple of, whether it's bullets, you know, and a couple beam, whatever you're shooting the Hulk with, at the beginning. In other words, he gets mad progressively.
You're
in other
right.
words, as he struggles, he gets madder and stronger.
Now this is the point where the listeners might want to go back to my blogs because the Hulk's already pissed. He's infuriated.
Right, that's what I'm establishing here. How at what level he's at?
He's not at meltdown, but he's already at the level where approaching him is not safe for your health.
Right.
You know, and he just proved that to you by smashing the Green Lantern. God knows how many districts across the country, and he's going to have to get his willpower back up to pull himself out of the mountain.
He might have a coma.
Yeah, might.
This could be. I mean, what you just set up here. This could be a one-punch knockout. Because if the Green Lantern has, like you said yourself, he just sees this big green beast down there. He doesn't know his capabilities. Right? Never saw him before. So what could very likely happen here is if the Hulk is at the power level that you just described. That might be enough. I mean, because, like you say, the only time he's going to the Lantern will rally his will enough to stand up to him is if he understands what he's up against. This could be a one-punch knockout.
It could be,
for all us Hulk fans.
It's not. It's not going to be a one-punch knockout because, like many times before, when Hal has been hit, being the guy that he is by Atrocitus or Sinestro, where he's been hit by power probably 3 times the strength of the Hulk. And he's gotten up from it. It might have taken him a couple minutes to shake it off. But eventually he's going to get up from that.
Right, but the key is that he knows the power of these people. See, that's the key. It's like an unknown boxer knocking out Mike Tyson with one punch because Mike Tyson never saw him before.
True.
If I'm saying, in other words, he doesn't understand what he's up against.
But I think he's going to understand it now. He's inside of a mountain. I think a lot of his cockiness is going to shroud off, and he's going to have to put himself back together and say, okay, what is this thing that just cracked me halfway across the earth here, and how am I going to be able to defend myself and the others without catching that punch again? Because next time he catches the punch, it could be over. He could go through the shield and smash the guy into pieces. You never know. But I don't think that's going to happen this time, because I think Hal's going to have enough inside of him to realize that, okay, we got to first of all take this battle somewhere where it's not going to destroy the city anymore, because this guy he's big, and he's going to test his limits to the point where he's going to keep going at the Hulk, dodging him here and there where the Hulk's trying to swat at him. Eventually, he's going to realize that the only way he's going to be able to get one up on him is if he takes the giant down for good. There's not going to be a peaceful solution to this.
Well, no. After the first punch, you think you would realize that.
Yeah, there's not going to be like a surrender moment like Superman would say, or let's find a peaceful way around there. Hal Jordan's going to know that we got to destroy this creature. And he's going to go through some of the things and steps to try to destroy it.
That Marvel heroes have already done.
Yeah, and it's not going to succeed. And eventually he's going to get frustrated. So before we get into the frustration and where I think this would pick up a little bit, and it would put the shoe on Hal's foot and make it a little more even, we'll go down to some music, because that's what we're here for. And this music tonight is going to hype you up and make you think violent thoughts for this fight. So think what's coming on here, folks. This is Hal Jordan versus the Hulk. I mean, this is epic. This is fan fiction at its best. Let's go down to one of my favorite bands, and Nurse Misery. She made sure that this got on the list. Dropkick Murphys, I'm Shipping Up to Boston. Now the frustration has set in. And of course, welcome back to Chuckles Crypt, where we're talking about the frustration of Hal Jordan trying to get the big green man down. He's taken a couple swats, a couple slugs. Hal's looking kind of beat up. He's bloody. The Hulk looks perfect. And he's still inside this town, creating, or the city, destroying buildings like he would in New York. Hal is getting desperate, and he's thinking of ways of how to take this giant down. He's dropped buildings on him. He's thrown him into water to drown him. He's done everything that could possibly be done to this creature.
Right, but he's not really using his head because he's not fighting with any kind of...
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do. He's wrecked.
I can't think of 2 or 3 right now. But that's what I said. But the problem is that his ego is at stake.
Right.
So, in other words, he's really not thinking clearly about how to deal with this.
He's thinking it's going to be a walk in the park just like anything else, and eventually he's going to find the weak spot, and he's going to take him out. But by his frustration building up, it's going to make him think a little more level-headed.
Right, it's going to have to.
And he's going to sit there and he's going to think, hey, this creature needs air to breathe.
Bingo.
I do not. I have a suit that protects me.
Yep.
I can take this battle to an area where he'll probably die.
Right, like several miles up.
So, yes, he takes his Green Lantern power and he uses his ring to project a slingshot, which takes the Hulk like a ping pong ball and flings him into the stratosphere, going through at incredible speeds of sound, the fire going around him, and then boom. Nothing but nothing. No sound, no air, just the Hulk sitting there floating, maybe smashing into a couple satellites or garbage that's up in there. And he would eventually turn blue, and the cold from the space would mess him up because he's not impervious
to the
temperature of outer space. There's not too many creatures from the Marvel Universe that are, without being godly like of course, Galactus.
Yeah, but they have spacesuits, put it basically.
So he's out there in space floating around. Hal's thinking, I got this job done. I'm all set. But then something would kick into his head where he might feel some sort of sense of remorse of killing this creature. He wants to learn a little more about this besides killing it. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a little cocky about this thing. So he would fly up there using his knowledge, and he would put the Hulk inside the bubble with himself. Mm-hmm. Big mistake. Now he thinks he's going to take the Hulk and he's going to float him down into like the Justice Tower or whatever it is, or maybe back to the Green Lantern's home planet, and try to figure out what's causing his monster's anger, or maybe they can get it on his good side.
Now, is the Hulk unconscious at this point?
He's unconscious for a little bit.
Now, wouldn't he revert back to Bruce Banner?
He would. He would definitely revert back to Bruce Banner.
All right, so as soon as he became unconscious in space, he would revert to Bruce Banner and die.
Well, inside the bubble, he will not.
Well, before that.
Yes. But he has a couple seconds before that would even happen. That's what my fan fiction's going into you. Hal would take the monster, and he would capture him inside the bubble. And, of course, yes, the monster, after being unconscious, would go back to being good old Bruce Banner.
In the bubble. Right.
This would baffle the Green Lantern. Like, what is this?
No, you
don't think so?
I got to stop you right there. I mean, the Green Lantern has encountered endless strange creatures in his travels. Different planets, different. No, that wouldn't puzzle him at all.
You don't think?
No, he would. No, of course not. He would just look at it and say, he's a shape changer.
You think that'd be just it?
That's basic. Yeah, I mean, look, if it was a regular human being, and he saw somebody change from a monster to a human, yeah. But the Green Lantern is vastly now, and because it's Hal Jordan. Now, if you had pitted one of the new Green Lanterns against him, maybe. But this is a guy that's seen everything.
If I had pitted one of the new Green Lanterns against him, they would have already been dead.
Right. What I'm saying is, but this is a guy that's seen everything.
I don't know. I think he'd be a little baffled for this. I'm just going to keep my mind on this thing. There's only a couple people. You have Captain Marvel, who ships from a little kid to Shazam. Yeah, you have that. Mm. But a creature of this magnitude, from a mere human being, they don't know. They have... What's it called in a DC universe? They're not called mutants, but they have their versions of it.
Right.
Well, here's where the story gets interesting. Hulk's inside the bubble, or Bruce Banner's inside the bubble. Hal Jordan is trying to float towards. He's going towards his area, towards the Justice League. Bruce Banner's going to start waking. And when he starts to wake, he's going to look around, and he's going to start to get a little nervous, a little anxious. I mean, he's inside this bubble with this being. He has no idea how he's gotten to this situation. All he knows is the monster has gotten him into it.
Right.
He has no idea who this character is. The Hulk's encountered countless characters inside the Marvel Universe.
Right, and Bruce Banner is woken up to countless weird situations.
But who is this? And how is this guy able to travel through space with me inside of him? And what's that tower over there floating in space? Is this, is this something?
Chuckles, I'm beginning to get the definite feeling here that the Hulk fan in you is coming through.
No. We're not going to get to that point yet. We are not going to get to the Hulk fan point because I'm still a fan of Hal Jordan, and I'm still a fan of...
Yeah, I know, but this is kind of like, let's see, if as a big Godzilla fan, if Godzilla went up against King Kong, there would be a little bit of subconscious handicapping going on.
Give me a little bit more...
rope to hang yourself.
Yes,
gotcha.
Before I hang myself. We will get to that point. But eventually, what would happen is Bruce Banner would end up flipping out. The monster would come back through. I wouldn't give it a couple minutes before it got to the space station. And inside that bubble would be trapped Hal Jordan and the Hulk. There's not too many places for Hal Jordan to go inside of there.
No, but now you're making Hal Jordan pretty stupid here.
No, I am not making him pretty stupid.
Let's see. The Hulk reverts to Bruce Banner in the bubble with Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan wouldn't have the brains to keep Bruce Banner sedated and unconscious.
He doesn't know. These are all theories of he doesn't know. Now
this is a pretty damn dumb Green Lantern we're throwing into the battle here, Chuckles.
I don't think he is dumb. You're not giving me a chance. You're just running all over my story. You're just letting it go.
I'm enthusiastically participating.
Next time I'm going to let you write it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is what I get. See what I get? I try something new, fans outside here, and George Garner is like the ruthless vampire bat that's found that vein sticking out of my neck.
Sucking away at the blood of logic.
Before we go back to the rest of the story, let's go down to another song because I'm going to choke George Garner while we go into break right now. Yeah, some more fighting music. So let's go down to Aerosmith's Back in the Saddle. little monster beat up there for you guys. What's going to come up next? Now, so we can get through this story, I'm going to admit this right now, and the nerds are going to fall over in shock. I am very biased towards the Hulk, and this story is going to lean a little more towards the Hulk, but the Hulk is not going to be the winner. So forgive me for liking the big green and not so much the Green Lantern. I love the Green Lantern, but the big green is one of my favorites. Now, as we left our story before I was being persecuted, and I finished choking George Garner during the break.
Which did nothing whatsoever to dissuade me.
I know it did nothing, but that's why I had to come out and admit. I didn't want to be like Donald Trump and just keep lying.
Not only did it do nothing, he kind of liked it.
Yeah, he did. So we come back. Hal Jordan's in the bubble. The monster is back to being the monster again. Hal knows that this isn't going to be good. He knows that if he takes a smash in the face from the monster now,
he won't have a face.
He will not have a face. He's not dumb enough to give him that second chance to whack him. So he is going to result back to doing what he did before. And besides having the sense of humanity, at this point in time, he's going to say there's no reasoning with this creature. And he's going to eject him at a lightning speed pace right outside of that bubble, sending him flying towards the moon's atmosphere. Nowhere near the Justice League's floating tower, because I don't want to destroy that, and nowhere near Earth, hoping that this will be enough to kill the creature finally, and he can go back to what he was doing and help out his friends down on the floor with this red and blue creature that shoots white things out of its wrist, a.k.a. Spider-Man. Hulk would go flying into the moon's atmosphere, which is very little to none to keep him in there. Just imagine a big green creature skipping across the moon's ground like a pebble going across a river. All this dust is coming up, all this material is coming flying up. And Hal's going to go back down to investigate to make sure that this creature is gone. And he's going to fly himself down there. There's going to be a little surprising on this. The one thing that Hal had for the weakness was being in outer space. That's the one thing he had over the creature. The creature, as far as, or Hal Jordan, as far as the creature goes, we know his weakness is if the battery runs out or if the ring comes off him, he's no better off than Bruce Banner. He becomes a mere human. However, none of that is the case. The lantern is fully charged. The ring is still on his finger, and it's looking good for him. He's going to have the one-up that Superman never got. He destroyed the big green monster. And maybe they'll talk about it in stories down the road, and Superman will be like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. I collapsed a building on top of his head once upon a time. We've tangled before, and what do you mean you killed the creature? And you'll have to go into some deep sympathy reasons of why'd you do that and try to make Hal feel bad, which won't work. As he is levitating towards the moon's atmosphere, he notices that in one of the craters that was just disturbed, there is a capsule with a red glow coming from this. A hand popped out of the capsule, like through the glass, think of like coming through a coffin. And there should be something on his hand that's not. Hal knows that this is a spot of a burial of a red lantern. The ring is no longer on his finger. The ring has found a new host. That, of course, being the Incredible Hulk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the story part of mine, I'm going to hand it over to you guys. You guys are going to figure out what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. George and I going back and forth. The Hulk now has a red lantern ring on his finger. Now, if you know how the red lanterns go, yes, you need a charge to operate it. But if your anger is strong enough, you can charge that ring without the battery. And I hate to say it, I don't think there's any characters in the entire comic book universe that are more angry than the Incredible Hulk. That guy is angry from the time he eats his chicken and to the time where he gets it stuck in his tooth. He's always pissed off. And to give him a ring that now is going to enhance his anger, now we're going to have a fight. This is not going to be okay, I punch you, you go into outer space, suffocate. I punch you, you go across the universe. Now we have a fight. We have the Green Lantern versus the Red Lantern. Not only is this going to turn into a fight between the monster and Hal Jordan, you know the Red Lanterns aren't going to sput out. They're going to see that there's something going on, and Atrocitus is going to bring his troops, and before we know it, Atrocitus is going to have himself a new general of the Red Lantern Army, and God help the DC Universe. And hope that Hal Jordan has got enough time to get himself to that power where he's almost godlike, and the chase after the Hulk. Because this isn't going to be like fighting the Atrocitus. Atrocitus had some weaknesses to him as far as the anger goes, and moments where, well, Hal, he won. But they're going to need, of course, the Green Lantern Corps in order for them to do this. They're going to need Hal to step up to the plate a little more. And DC Outer Space is screwed.
Okay. When the Hulk puts on the red ring, does that ring have a consciousness of its own that it will take care of him right from the get-go, or does he have to command the ring to protect him?
I'm going to go with now because, like, this is my story, guys. So
I'm saying you see where this is going. Yeah.
I do see where this is going, but listeners, tear me up later if you want. If you remember the cheesy, really bad Green Lantern movie with...
Oh, shit, you're not bringing that into it.
I am bringing it into it. The ring basically had a mind of its own.
Foul.
It exists. There is no foul. So I'm going to say that the red ring would be able to do the same. It'd be able to do enough to make the character survive. And while he was doing what he was doing to get the one up, eventually the Red Lanterns would come to pick him up and bring him to save the day. Leaving it at that point where now it's up to the listeners. How's this going to end? I mean, this is pretty good. I see you biting your teeth.
I think I just eroded some of the enamel off the top of one of my teeth, grinding my teeth.
That movie exists in my mind, and it always will, and I will stand by my...
Well, you know what else also exists? The Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV series.
And I like that, too.
Yeah, shall we bring that in?
No, because that Hulk would get his ass kicked.
Right.
But no, this exists. And I liked that Green Lantern movie. I don't care what anybody's saying outside there. Yes, it took a little too
You realize they're getting... The Hulk fans right now are getting and the Lantern fans, they're getting the pitchforks and the torches, and the angry mob is about to march on this studio.
I don't see why. He hasn't lost. It's up to them.
The very idea of bringing the Green Lantern movie into this scenario.
There are a lot of us out there that like that movie. I'll have you know. It's not just you that hates it. I mean, it brought in money. Now, granted, the guy makes fun of the movie himself in Deadpool, but there was a lot of us that enjoyed that movie. Why are you laughing? It's true. We did.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of people that enjoy listening to the Osmonds too. It doesn't give it any value or worth.
It
because
does.
A lot of people like it,
and it exists as much as you want to spit at it and poo-poo at it. It exists in the DC universe, and that's where I dropped my mic. It was made. It is there. I can steal bits and pieces from it. Thank you. This is Chuckles' first episode. That's right. Of You Got It. Comic Combat. Now, it's up to you guys, the listeners. Now, George, what do you think is going to happen with this?
Well, since you brought a bunch of CGI B-movie crap into it.
Don't give me that. Give me that CGI B-movie crap.
The Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, can still win.
He can.
He can still win. Well, now you want to now if you want to now you're bringing it away from the one-on-one. Now you've got a war going. So they're just going to bring in the rest of the troops on Hal Jordan's side too.
You know it.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a war.
So what you've done is just sparked a war between two entire universes.
Yep, I have.
Right. And now does this mean that we bring in the rest of the troops from the Marvel universe?
Not yet.
But at some point, does this mean is this what the implications are?
It's a possibility of them coming in there.
Okay, then they're going to kick the DC universe's ass.
You got to look in and read my first 2 blogs. The third one's not up there. There are some scary parts inside of there that you're going to look at and you're going to say, oh my God, what if this really happened? And it's going to make the whole...
See, what you've done now is you've given so many you've given an infinite number of different options or possibilities. There's no way we can come up with a winner and loser now because you've come up with too many possibilities.
Thank you. I cannot be hated like the guy that made Jason versus Freddy. Thank you very much. You can come up with your own thought on this one.
All right,
there we go. That way, I'm not the hated one. I came up with a good story, gave you guys good verses where it has never really come across someone's mind for these two to clash that I know of. Mm. I haven't seen it in the comics. I haven't heard of it on fan sites, but I could be wrong. I might have to check it a little deeper. But
so basically what you're telling us is that you chickened out of picking a winner.
No, I didn't chicken out of picking a winner. I made it so that the listeners out there could use their minds to create their own fan fiction and make the winner or loser. I've started the story. You guys out there finish it.
Basically what we're going to see is what the general consensus is.
Yeah, and when we come back, we'll find out. I'll read the stories that the listeners put up there and send me. We'll see who wins the battle from the listener side of things. And I'm giving it to them. Where, as me being as biased as I am, the Hulk would have already won with that single punch to the face.
Right. So the Clown and Goner do agree on that. We do agree. Okay.
The battle would have been done.
One and done.
But to give the Green Lantern universe the love that I do, I opened the story up a little more for the folks. Gave them the benefit of the doubt. It's up to you, the listeners of Rhode Island Free Radio, the Chuckles Crypt. It's up to you guys to figure out who the winner of this is going to be. It's not that hard. Get away from your television for a little bit. Read some comics. Do some numbering and put them together. Who's going to take this dang thing? And don't worry about the other blogs that I wrote in here. Concentrate on these two beings right now. And either way, if it was the Hulk or whatnot, one-on-one eventually, Hal Jordan would have to get the Green Lantern universe to try to take this monster down.
Well, yeah.
Because he would get frustrated to the point where, by himself, it would be a very big feat to take this creature down. We know that. I'm not taking anything away from the Green Lantern's power, but as comic books go, the Hulk has been created to be undefeatable as far as the comic world goes.
Right, and that's right. But at the same time, he's undefeatable, but
exactly.
Which is the whole suspense of comics from the time he was created.
And that's the whole purpose of what we're doing tonight, is to put that butt in your face. You don't have to pay for that butt in your face like a strip club. And you can write out the conclusion. It's not that hard. Send it to us in a blog. Send it to me. You guys have all my info out there. It's not hard at all.
The butts are free.
Yep. Flood the Facebook with the butts. So let's go down to some more music. We're going to give you guys, how much time we got there, Mr.
Let's see. We have we're 46 minutes in.
Oh, crud. So we're going to give you guys a little double shot here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk what's coming up next.
Stand back and peep the light show. Green Lantern's got this.
Backyard Brawl. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to that point of the show again where we got to wrap things up.
We've had a few backyard brawls over the years.
We have, and I got a lot of scars to prove it.
Now, we have some feedback coming in live for everybody checking us out live. They want me to tell Chuckles that the Green Lantern was 100% trash.
I know who
Can
said that.
you believe it?
I know who said that, and I still stick by my words. I liked that movie. I'm not the only one. But
the only thing better than getting real-time feedback is getting real-time hate mail.
Oh, I probably got that coming in when I get home. But that's that time. Ladies and gentlemen, take the time, read the books, come up with your own conclusion to this. We got about 2 weeks. Write it out. Send it to us on a blog, and if we like it enough, I'll attach it to my blog, which is the whole fan fiction that's going on here. So a little give, and like I said, I'll say who the winner of it is. The next show we're coming up. And the next show you ask, what is it going to be? Chuckles, these have been crazy. You have been hitting it off the wall crazy. I would have done it this weekend, but we had to keep to the fight. And in sad news, Jay Lynch, one of the creators of Garbage Pail Kids, age 72, passed away. And they did comics with Bazooka Joe and a lot of other individual drawings. So the next time we grace this mic, and I'm not saying the next time as in the Haunted Cabaret, which is coming up next, but the next time Chuckles Crypt, yours truly, Chuckles the Klown, graces this mic, we will be talking about the Garbage Pail Kids. And what a great nostalgia traveling back in time we will have without traveling back in time. Huh? See that? We're going to go out on a good note with some Black Sabbath here on Chuckles Crypt, Rhode Island Free Radio. And remember, keep those mind juices flowing, folks. It's the only way you stay young. Here on Chuckles Crypt, Black Sabbath's Iron Man.
I'm not through with you.